Lately, I've been trying to do some work on revisions for my postmortem essay, which is primarily focused on getting myself to the 2,000 word minimum. I'm currently at 1,766 words. And in the process, I included an extra citation because I said something that would probably require, in particular, this, which was implied from a Wikipedia article on the Battle of Grozny from 1994 to 1995, which is officially known as the First Battle of Grozny, but probably isn't the first actual Battle of Grozny, considering how the tensions between Russia and the Chechens go back centuries. But I didn't want to use Wikipedia because even when I was in middle school, it was frowned upon, and so I don't think it would be any more well received within a college level environment, which is a pretty professional environment. These are part of a partial box of Goldfish cheddar crackers that I got by asking nicely for them. Essentially asking nicely if there were any left over. Snacks from all the leftover programs and events for Eagle Hall. I officially started today by staying up. I believe at some point I tried to work on a postmortem essay, but I didn't really get that much work done on it. I've been trying to work on the postmortem essay for the past few hours now. Just trying to think on how I can further apply the things we went over in class and the readings so that I don't just pad out the essay, but actually add in things that are meaningful. After all, I'm not going to get back the post. It's supposed to be a term paper, so I generally wouldn't be supposed to do revisions on it, but I was given special permission because to send revisions in before getting feedback, because this paper, it was below, when I originally submitted it, it was below the 2,000 word minimum, and it still is, but I don't know if this is ultimately going to end up making it better, but it's worth a shot. I got into a few rabbit holes while trying to do some research on the First Battle of Grozny. I woke up around 12:30, I'd say, in the afternoon. Dad made me a cup of coffee. Shortly after, me and Dad went over to Mom's house in order to drop off most of the stuff I brought home from my dorm room the other day. It's now this clean. Which I think is a considerable improvement. And Mom ended up holding us up for more than an hour. Time I used to try and help my mom by clearing up the kitchen table, which once again got all filled up with clutter. And these efforts resulted in me making several trips from the kitchen on ground floor to Mom's bedroom on the first floor. And combine that with me taking out the trash in the kitchen, and also that little trash can that was just outside the bathroom within Mom's bedroom, as well as a couple of trips to take a picture of a couple of the few visible from stragglers I had yet to take a picture of. Ended up making me pretty sweaty by the time me and Dad got ready to leave. after Mom went through a pretty lengthy process for us to do some things. To prepare for our graduation ceremonies, which included Mom booking a sort of hotel to stay at for me and, for my sister's graduation ceremony within Skidmore University, which is in Saratoga Springs. We got back to campus around 4:30 to 5 p.m. At which point, after settling in my dorm room, I pretty much immediately went over to get some dinner at the new continuous service. But I didn't want to do my dinner at 5 p.m. because then I would have ended up excluding some work I did on the 99th in Hamming. And because I knew that in advance I would end up getting stuck with the perceived need to make another Starfilm prop character right before me and Dad, shortly before me and Dad left for Mom's place, I brought over in one plastic bag some newish Sharpie markers. And that bag eventually came to also be packed with a couple pairs of underwear and a roll of toilet paper. For this possible last week on Brockport campus. I knew that on Sundays they typically would have the novelty ice cream cart out. And that was part of what motivated me to go out to Harrison today. Brockway is now closed for the rest of the semester as its finals week. But Harrison Dining Hall will be open continuously, I think, from 7:30 in the morning to 8 p.m. most days. I was able to stay within the Obsidian League on Duolingo by repeating some Duolingo stories for my Spanish course. But I also made sure to squeeze in a new lesson on stem changes. Or to be specific, stem changing verbs. Ooh, nice. Another daily exclusive building. Nice to get a 15-point ancient knowledge pack. These days I generally prefer cultural buildings that give population. But this was a pretty good round. It's just important to note there's not that many days left. And it's important that I keep up the pace if I ultimately want to end up getting all of the artifacts. There's an extra fee if you end up having to reshuffle. I've had thoughts of upgrading the barracks, but to do that I need a city expansion about right here, but right now I have a higher priority of getting the Fairy's Ancient Wonders built once they come out. Although it seems like it would be possible to try and arrange some way for me to ultimately build the mercenary camp. Although doing that would require ultimately eliminating some rather crucial elven cultural buildings. To be specific, the Spot of Whispering Trees and the Flying Boat. Or maybe not. The Ancient Pond statue is a 3x3 building that I got all the way back from chapter 1. I think by now I have something better than that. That would still be pretty unique. The Phoenix Chick. It technically is a better than this Ancient Pond statue. I'll have to do some more thinking at some point. I don't want to spend these knowledge points I have right now because that might ultimately end up the next task set could ask me to spend X knowledge points. I spent the knowledge points initially because if I had not, it's quite possible this bar would already be completely full with the 10-point limit. And if you hit that, the 1 hour timer gets completely reset. And you stop getting one an hour until you spend the points. One of the Fairy's Ancient Wonders serves as an extra workshop in a sort of way. So that's pretty good. I've got a fully upgraded Fairy Scrolls Manufactory, during which they seem to make a paper dragon entirely out of paper through some kind of magic whenever I'm producing with that manufactory. When I got dinner from Harrison, it came in, the food was put into this tray, which is more durable, but it holds slightly less food. Regardless, though, it was able to fit a hot dog, 2 salted pretzel sticks, 2 garlic and cheddar biscuits, the kind of those cube-shaped little carrots and peas, the kind you might expect to find at a frozen food aisle. At least that's my impression of it. I brought over with me 2 of those thin, those long and narrow styrofoam block pieces that Dad got for me online a while back. What made me stay up so late last night? I went into a rabbit hole about the dangers of being flocks thanks to Mr. Ballin's most recent video off of his main channel. Also today, a pretty good new chapter of Exponential Log Redux was released off of Giantess World. And Big Elsa is at last making updates to Mom's Hunger again. Which I've always followed pretty well. Always popping in every now and again. There's no new update as of today, but number 40, the 43rd one, when it was released 2 days ago, was pretty good. All off of DeviantArt. And this is the homemade chili. Once I had gotten the main stuff for that earlier lunch at Harrison Dining Hall, I figured I would get a whole bunch of other stuff with the idea of eating some, like I did around 5:30 p.m. I'd say. I was in so committed to this idea, and then having some later, as I'm doing now, I forgot to get a novelty ice cream treat, even though they had the cooler out and I clearly saw it. Probably just as well, though. It was pretty hot today. Enough to do that thing where if you leave a car out in a day like today long enough, it feels like an oven when you get back in it to go around somewhere. As happened when me and Dad got in his car for us to go from his apartment unit to Mom's house. And he did his usual thing of letting me sleep. We didn't really go off to Mom's place until around 2 p.m. Combined with the holdup in regards to doing things to prepare for graduation, we got back to Brockport later than Dad would have liked. I'm probably going to try to finish up on my revision for the post-mortem essay. I'll be sure to try and do my best on it. There was some point while I was at Mom's place where I considered doing a room tour, but I figured there and then wouldn't be a good time since the whole visit was just intended to be quick, where we would just drop off the stuff I brought home, most of the stuff I brought home from my dorm room. basically a sort of take some stuff now, so we'll have to take less later, sort of thing. Except I initially took it out of the dorm room back in Thursday, if I recall correctly.